Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the Osiris Temple Classroom, the Wisdom Wealth Code. I have ever such a lot. I've been in deep conversation with Osiris all this morning. And what's quite interesting, as I've spoken to some of you about it, is that when I connect with this power, as it were, they're usually quite quiet. But all of a sudden, I've just tapped into Osiris and he is talking a lot about a lot of things. And I'm like really happy for it. And he's actually kind of like my favorite word, dovetailing with Toth. Because they're both, as we know, November, which is literally today's my daughter's birthday. So I'm like, oh, so it's many birthdays for yay, it's many birthdays for all of us, isn't it? And I'm going to get into that in a second. But it's just like as we close kind of like on October, we move into November. November's going to be massive. I said it a while ago. It's all about this embodiment, right? And Miriam, you and I have been chatting, Lindsay, we've all been chatting because we all have our connections, and we've all been saying the same thing and feeling the same thing. There is not anybody that I have spoken to that have just said, no, sorry, not feeling it. If you're in our tribe, if you're in our pride, everything that we've been working with and working on, it's just like we're all just feeling the same thing. There was almost like this big inhale where it was like there was just so much lack. It was like everything just went still for a moment and then breathe out. And it's all kind of like it's all happening, right? So now this is like the most important time of the threshold that we're stepping over. And this is a very important classroom as well, a very important one. And it's got a lot in it, as I say. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're just going to go into meditation and just ground our energies all in and just, bring it right in, because there's been an awful lot that's been going on in the last 24 hours. So we definitely need a little bit of grounding. Okay. So just closing your eyes and taking a nice big deep breath in, inhale. Hold at the top of the breath and exhale. And then another breath like that. Inhale all the way from the root chakra. Inhale. Fill those lungs. Hold at the top. A little bit longer this time. And breathe out. And now I want this to be your biggest breath. Okay, so big inhale. Hold. Really feel the max packs on your lungs. And a big exhale out. Oh, shake it out if you need to. Do whatever you do, because this is very, very physical what we're going through at the moment. So, feel free to kind of like do your things or whatever. That's also fine because that's energy. So it's like, it's all good. So yeah, so now we are going to go into, now we're just grounded in a little bit. We're going to go into this meditation, which is grounding, but we're also going to go and meet Osiris as well. So that's just a little bit of breath work to bring us into the same space. And I'll just invite you to just relax and just make sure that all of your microphones are on mute so I don't get any feedback. Thank you. And then just coming into space now, just closing your eyes and just feeling those breaths settle you into your physical body. And just allow it all to settle. And now, as you visualize a beautiful lotus flower in your heart, and as always, this is known to us as our portal of travel, I suppose. So we breathe into the petals and we open the petals one by one, exhaling, bringing that divine activation to this beautiful lotus flower. What colors are your lotus flowers showing you today? Are they the beautiful pinks, the blues? There may be black coming into the fold. The lotus flower holds much consciousness. And the lotus flower is speaking to many of us, actually, through her colors. So allow herself to be shown to you today in how she wants to be recognized by you. And as you breathe into this heart space now, inhale and exhale, you feel her just unfurl fully. And as you do so, you enter into your body, into your being. And with each breath, inhale and exhale, it's as if you're rowing a sacred boat, on a quiet lake. You inhale, You reach forward, you exhale, you pull on the oars, and you just glide deeper. Breathe, glide deeper. And it's that peaceful sail into self. And as you feel yourself settle within your own inner cosmos, your own inner world, maybe you are in your own inner lake. You feel the peace and the stability. This is the truth that you have earned. This is the truth that you have unlocked and unveiled within you. You are very well aware of the chaos that ensues out there, but you are the divine balance. You are the strong center. And as you allow all the white noise to disappear into the ethers beyond your boundary, inside your sacred boundary, there's just peace. And as you feel this peace now, I want you to just consciously feel your sacred cord now running from your heart. Inhale and exhale, send that energy all the way down through your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, all the way down into the earth. And your cord is finding its way to Mother Gaia's heart. And Mother Gaia stands, sits, embraces you in the center of the earth there, where you will find her, where you find her heart. Your cord connects with her beautiful, pulsating heart energy consciousness codes. And as soon as you consciously connect with her, there are sparks and electricity and a deep sense of safety, a deep sense of belonging, a deep sense of being held. And as you feel this deep sense of being held, you feel your nervous system just relax. And as we do that, we call in powerful protection from Gaia. We repel that which interferes with our field. We repel that energy that is lesser vibration. And we repel people, places, and situations so we can maintain our peace. And we most definitely call in our protection, which is essentially bringing us into alignment. For we fear nothing, because we've already been through it. Protection is just making sure that you are in alignment with the cosmos. You are in alignment with yourself. And you're in alignment with Gaia. As above, so below, so within, so without. And as you feel this deep connection to Gaia, you take a moment now to come back to your heart space. And as you inhale, you send out a heart breath all the way up, a trail of consciousness and stars all the way up to the cosmos. You might connect with a certain star system, certain star family, because they're all watching us at the moment. So allow your consciousness to go back home in the cosmos, connecting heart to heart consciousness in the stars. And just feeling that beautiful flurry of star energy as it just soaks and soothes your energy field. And also brings a little bit of light relief to your physical body and reminds you that you are indeed cosmic yourself. So now taking a focus and breathing into your heart now, like a beautiful cosmic cauldron in the heart, you're now melding and moving that energy around the beautiful codes of Gaia, the beautiful codes of the cosmos in your physical being, in your heart. And as you feel this kind of like explosion, like a star burst with earth magic, and with the hue man, hue is divine, man is the physical vessel. As you feel this beautiful mixture and blend of everything, you feel kind of balanced. You feel kind of connected to it all. And as you allow everything just to settle, you become very well aware of a presence that moves around you. First of all, it shows itself to be blue. Then it shows itself to be green. And then it shows itself to be gold. And this energy and presence is regal. It's sovereign. It's of the highest order. And you know this frequency very well. It's very familiar. And as it swirls around you, it starts to take form right before your eyes. And suddenly, there he stands, Lord Osiris, Lord of Paradise, the afterlife. He is standing before you, emanating his magic, emanating his presence, emanating his frequency and sovereignty in resurrected form. As he stands and he gazes deeply, holds your stare deeply into you, you can feel that this is a very momentous occasion. This is a very important meeting. This is a very important classroom of the temple. And as he makes his energy known to you, he speaks. You have traveled far and wide. You have repeated the mission time and time and time again. Failure may feel that is exactly what it is. It is not, sweet soul. It is mastery. It is practicing something again and again and again and gaining mastery over it. And here you stand in full proof, full physical form, resurrected form, that the truth in holding the light, holding the line, determination, commitment, devotion, discipline, sovereignty for those that hold the leadership through love within their encodements. For many could not make it. Many were supposed to not make it. For this is not their role. It is yours, sweet one. It is yours. And you stand here triumphant, glorious, and victorious. So you should. For this is an honor and a very, very powerful, high energy to behold. You have undertaken the task of remembering yourself. And the energy and the wisdom that you will place into the grid for others to follow, the books that you have submitted into the Akashics, and as soon as we mention the Akashics, in comes Thoth, green emerald energy everywhere. It's as if he walks in, as if he's always been around, he just hadn't shown himself yet, and it's like him and Osiris are like buddies, and they walk in, and it's like, whoa, Thoth is here, and Osiris. And as we speak about the Akashics, Thoth is holding the biggest book, huge book, leather, encoded and encrusted in green crystals, sparkling energy, all of these things. And the book he holds, he says, is yours. It's big and it's very, very powerful. It is very emanating light and frequency, because this is the book that you've just completed on, that you are submitting to the Akashic records. Why? Because it goes to the universal library. So other souls that come behind you, after you, can now pull from your wisdom in the Akashics to know how to stride forward through the halls of Amenti successfully and come into embodiment. And Osiris nods. And it's as if their energies are kind of one. It's as if their purpose and their ascended mastery is one. But Osiris is of the most highest. He really is. And he is the Lord of Paradise. So that is your wealth and prize. That is the gift that you are being given right now. So you look at Thoth, you bow your head in honor, but he bows lower, because what he holds in that book, oh, lifetimes upon lifetimes of your soul coming here again and again and again and again. Wisdom, magic, precious tales of old. It's a book worth placing on the universal shelf. So he thanks you for your service. And he thanks you because you are indeed the lineage of Thoth. Each and every one in my tribe, our tribe, Thoth's tribe, Osiris, we are the way showers. It's not an easy job at all, but it is one that is going to change the course of everything forever. So with these powerful ascended masters stood before us right now, we bow to them and we are in honor of them. For whether we were stuck in our darkness, couldn't hear anybody talking to us, in our pain, writhing in despair, they were always there. We just couldn't feel them because we weren't in the same dimension. We were never forsaken. It was our blind faith that kept us moving forward. It was them that spoke to our higher being, our ancient one. And thank goodness we didn't give up. Thank goodness we stayed the course. So Osiris and Thoth, bless you. I bless you for hearing my call and seeing my Batman in the sky. and standing with me here today. I see you. So taking a nice big deep breath in now. And we're not closing anything off, just exhaling into that magic and medicine. Okay, so this, oh gosh, that was a lot, wasn't it? So I am going to go straight into the energy update. It's an energy update really because I have been on YouTube this week. I literally just do a couple of videos a week when I'm coasting and I'm cruising, and I'll do a video, and they take a long time to do, by the way, when you're a writer, editor and everything like that. And I'll finish a video, there's another one, and there's another one, and then there's a channel from Sekhmet, and every day it's been like, this has to go out. When? Now. Okay, so that's the energy of it. And I understand why now, because here comes Anubis. Sorry, it's so hot here. I have to leave the door open, so he's going to be running in and out, just bringing his energy in. So we're going to talk about Atlas, okay? So Atlas is this comet, okay? But it's also supercraft. Depends how starseedy you are. I'm all about the supercraft. But anyway, it's energy coming in. And it was prophesized that this comet, let's call it for want of a better word, this comet was basically prophesized in the Somalian calendar. And I mean, I don't think it would just be a comet. I mean, some scientists have said, like, who are very sort of like scientific, have said they've made contact with these beings, and they've basically said they're draconian reptiles, and they come in peace. And they asked why, what's the purpose of them coming so close to Earth? And they said because they're gathering their star seeds. Now, I know, take this out of the fold. I mean, like, let's play this game. Put your hand up if you know something big's coming. I know. I've been feeling it for such a long time. We've all felt it, right? And it's not just like the invasion of all of the stuff that's going on, like the immigrants in the UK or whatever. That's just a big distraction. They're just game playing, right? But it really, I don't really care about the drama, because the shadow propels us. It gives us more of a springboard to get the job done for us to move forward, right? So Atlas, so that's coming in. So that came in hot yesterday. Now, I did mention in my previous videos, I was like, look out for Wednesday. They're saying Wednesday is something's going to go on. Again, another man scientist was talking about how this energy was going to come in, and it was going to actually awaken millions of people in one hit, right? We were already kind of there. So which is why I have had a very interesting night last night. You guys, a lot of you are in your morning. I'm at the end of the day now. I'm your friend from the future. And let me tell you guys, a little bit, ooh, even my husband, he's tapped in and he does all the energy work and everything like that. He was just lying in the lounge in his underpants saying he can't walk. He's going to hate that I shared that. But he was like, I've lost control of my body. He's just done. And I said, is it energy, babe? And he's like, yeah, I'm tapped out. And he kept quiet all day. So those that don't usually feel it, let me tell you, they're feeling it. Do you know what I mean? So like, this is the energy that came in. So yesterday, okay, so I'm the end of the night, end of the day. You guys are in the morning. A lot of you that are in the States. I was looking the whole day on Wednesday. Is there anything going to happen? And I didn't feel anything, but I went to bed last night and I felt kind of awake, but I sleep like nobody's business. I don't have a problem with insomnia. I had 2 hours sleep and then bing, awake. Anubis, who's very sensitive to energy, running up and down the house like an absolute lunatic, right? Because he feels everything. And like he was just I was running with him. I was just like, Jesus, what's going on? And it was just like chaos last night. And I just woke up this morning. I felt very nauseous in my solar plexus. So it's going to be doing that because the solar plexus and the third eye are connected, right? So I felt very, very sick and very nauseous, but more so than the average upgrade. Let's face it, we're OGs. We've done this dying thing a million times, right? We've gone through the shit energy and all the rest of it and go, I feel a bit funky today. This is different. This is very, very different, this upgrade that came in. Now, the dreams I had was very, very key. So I dreamt that I was working with a formula, and this is why Thoth is a big factor behind this. We already called it in this tribe on the channel that we were going to be working with Thoth for November. He made himself known about that at the beginning of October. But this is Thoth's work now. We're going into his world, and Osiris is kind of like partnering with him, which I just love. And basically, like, this energy that came in and brought this crazy dream that I was working with the Heka codes, Sia, Hu, and Heka. And I was stuck on the second part of the Heka codes, which is the major manifestation part. The first part of the Heka codes is the intention. The second part is when you bring Hu, the divine, into the physical, which is when when you work with alchemy, that's when you're bringing the idea into physical form. Let's face it, this is where we all struggle when we manifest, bringing it into the physical. Why don't our manifestations work? 'Cause usually that bit you get stuck on. So in my dream, I was going, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. And that's a belief system thing. So I woke up with that. So I think that there was like, you know, belief systems with this massive influx of energy from Atlas. That's why that scientist was saying it was going to affect the brain. Brains are belief systems. So there's nothing for you to do here. And I want to stress it real hard. You've done all the work, right? Imagine if you change one belief system, your whole reality changes. So these things are going to just melt away now, right? So let it melt away. Let these upgrades, let these experiences with Atlas and all these big energy coming in. Somebody was just saying as well, I was actually just looking on TikTok, and he said it's the biggest awakening that we've ever known because the Schumann resonance have been preparing us for this. So there is a strategy. I've been using the word conscious strategy. I'm a conscious strategist. That's my new name, right? Rather than spiritual teacher, but conscious strategist makes me more like that, right? So basically, like, you know, this is the spirit has a strategy, and I have been sat with it today, and I have just got all these downloads, and I'm like, holy shit, I know what we're doing, right? So now safety. I want to bring safety in. Now we're starseeds. Oh God, that old chestnut. We all feel unsafe. Now I know that we all want to feel love and all the rest of it, but let me tell you this: if you felt completely safe, what does that lead you to? How do you look like? What do you look like in the world? You'll just turn up and do everything. Do you know what I mean? Safety leads to support. If, as Michelle, we've spoken about that. So support. So if you feel support, that means like my back's covered. I can go out and do that conscious creation. I can go out and do exactly what I want with the world. I ain't scared of anything. And that's blessings to Sekhmet as well. So safety is a massive, I believe it's the final layer, or rather the layer of embodiment we're going through now, because I spoke to my kids last night and they were in London. Their front door wouldn't shut. My son was tweaking out because he was like, oh my God, Mom, I'm going to get murdered in my sleep. And I was like, chill out. But they were actually like, relax. My daughter is just such a badass Sekhmet starseed. She was like, bro, you need to calm down. Do you know what I mean? But it was just like, you know, but he was freaking out. And then I had a very strange doorbell ring last night. And this woman that came to my door, it could have been a possible setup for a robbery. I don't know. But all of these things are popping off around me, which are kind of like, could be a stimulant for like, oh, I'm scared. So I feel that this is actually just an evaporation. And I really do feel much more safer in myself, meaning from a day to day, I don't feel this need to do so much because I might die. Got to do loads of videos because I might die. Now I'm doing loads of videos because it's needed, period. And I'm loving it. Do you know what I mean? But before it was just like, can't rest, can't settle, can't rest. Now that you're going to start to experience more and more and more kind of like a soothing, kind of like grounded embodiment energy in your being. That's what it's going to feel like, right? So now I just want to bring up, because I've used embodiment a lot in this class, and you're going to get a lot more as Osiris comes in. Embodiment. It's Osiris. That's what he's here for, coming into wholeness. I have to say, in all of the 10 years that I have worked intensely with the Egypt energies, I have never, ever been connected with the Osiris like I have. I've never really channeled him, actually, to be honest. He's always been on the outskirts. I might have had a little private shindig with him on a meditation, but I've never actually brought his energy through. So I sit there and I take note of that, because we're in this certain timeline where shit's happening and you need to be excited. You need to be celebratory about what's going on. And I really do feel, and I just said it now, that there's not a lot for you to do. You just got to let it all unfold, right? Because it's already going, right? So now I'm flying through this because I want to get into the channel with Osiris. So Thoth joins Osiris. So November is embodiment month. So we're going to be diving in hot with this guy, okay? And it's going to be, and now all of you, okay, all of you are on the lineage of Thoth. We are Sekhmet, we are Thoth, we all hold the same frequencies, right? But let me tell you, Thoth and Sekhmet for me are my ones that are up there. Sekhmet is most definitely yeah, woo! So I'm going to tell you a story now. How did I bring the tablets of light into being? Like, oh, Jesus Christ. It was just like, well, Thoth, I was always mad crazy into Thoth. He was the one that got me to Egypt in the first place. Then I met Sekhmet. She says, you're going to do, I felt this channel. I'd never channeled before in my life. Heard this voice. Apparently it was her. You're going to do groups. Absolutely not. And then Thoth pulled me back in. So it was actually Thoth and Sekhmet that came together for me, that helped me really step into my purpose, which is doing these groups, teaching, doing the channel and everything like that. Now, now Sekhmet, it's almost like Toe said, listen, I'm going to pull you OGs out of retirement, but you've got to come and help us because the world's gone tits up. So we said, yes, we're coming. We didn't quite realize how many lifetimes we were going to ring a ring of roses, but we're here. You know what I mean? And it's almost like what he told us that we would have to go through to bring the world back into alignment after all of these thousands of years. He's like, but you know what? I'm going to make sure that Sekhmet comes with you because all that fear you're going to have, you're going to have to transmute it. So it's almost, he gave me a travel buddy. There you go. There's Sekhmet. I was like, cool. Well, not really, because when you start working with Sekhmet, she gives you an ass kicking. So we all know, right? So we have to go through that, you know? But anyway, so Sekhmet's up in the mix, but Toth most definitely is going to bring all of you OGs out now. What does that look like? What's it going to feel like? Well, you've all got a tablet of light within you that you have been protecting those encodements for lifetimes. For this now time, I suggest strongly you go back and listen to the emerald tablets of light on audio. If you can, just let that frequency run. If you're at that level where you can read the book, okay, just read it. It's a very short book, front to back, front to back, front to back. Every time you read it, you might not know with all the old speak jargon what he's going on about, but things start to unlock. That's why I say listen to Toth Emerald Tablets of Light in the car. Even if you're just zoning out to it, it's consciousness. Go to sleep with it playing. Go back and read the book after you've listened to the audio just on repeat. Let me tell you, you're going to read that book like a Disney novel. You'll be like, holy shit. Every time I read that book before I take my groups to Egypt every year, I always have a quick read. I'm like, I've read this a million times. I haven't seen this before. And he unlocks something always in the Great Pyramid for me. And then off I go and work with that. So this is your time to actually really speak to Toth as well, which we will get in deeply into the month that's coming. Okay. Because we're going to be really getting practical with that of like, you know, like Sekhmet's shown us our purpose, right? Now the encodements that's in that tablets of light. Okay. That's where the name for the tools came from. In that tablets of light is basically what you've kept protected for lifetimes. And it's going to look to you as major alchemy stuff, philosophy, you know, obsession with numbers, numerology, all of those things, right? You might start writing a lot more. I've exploded into writing recently because I started to write a blog and all of these kind of things, you know? So he's going to show himself to you in a multitude of ways. But what he is about is sacred architecture and sacred structure. And it is now time for each and every one of us to basically commit and come in, right, to actually building what we said we were going to build. Okay. Rest, it's done. It's now work. We're going to do this, but it's not going to be like work as in like toil. The pathway is being cleared. And after we finish this class, you're going to feel a whole lot of different with what Osiris is going to share with you. Because remember, this class is called the Wisdom Wealth Code, right? And there's good reason for that. Okay. So yes, that's enough there. So now I've got a lot to share with you. Can you tell I got 10 tabs open? ADHD is like on point today. So well, I wrote a massive channel from Osiris, okay, today. And it's like, I don't know, I've read it about 4 times because it's actually nothing you don't know, but it's like, anyway, I'm going to read it to you. It comes in 2 parts. And I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes so you can receive it like it was a meditation. All right. And then I will be posting this on the channel in written. So don't worry about trying to like, you know, take notes and everything like that. Of course, you can come back to this recording, but I will make sure that I put it on the Osiris channel. OK, I mean, the YouTube channel. So this is the first part. Yes. So closing your eyes, because Osiris, and let's leave Toth in the mix. He's very much around us. He's kind of stood behind Osiris, but it's like Osiris that's up front and center, and he's very, very much with us today. And the blue energy is his beautiful blue consciousness, the blue energy and the green energy, because that's also, well, I mean, they say blue. It's kind of like blue or black skin. That references the sand of Kemet, which is highly fertile. And then the green skin of Osiris is obviously the fertility and the agriculture and all of the abundance that he brings. And what I find very powerful about Osiris at the moment, as I sit within and work with him and speak to him, is that there's very little speak about the afterlife or going through the, you know, the god of the underworld. You know, I haven't been talking to him about that, which is extremely interesting to me because I am an underworld worker, as it were, and I'm always there. But when I speak to Osiris, all the connection that I have with him is the God of paradise, the Lord of paradise. He's constantly at the Nile for me, and he's just there, and it's just beautiful and abundant, and it's just paradise, as I say. So I find that very interesting because that is the level of where our blueprints are. Really, we've unlocked that code within us. So welcome to Osiris's wisdom wealth code. The deep clearing that has overcome your existence on earth has been relentless, felt as infinite at times as you were shrouded in despair and darkness. Only now will you begin to understand that nothing was in vain, nothing. There is an immense amount of frequency and divine support being flooded into Gaia and your divine selves as you both ascend to descend. This is the embodiment. The star councils gather, sacred discussions are at play as Gaia moves into her next level of ascension. And as her custodians and children, you are not exempt from this. You are now understanding that such dedication and commitment in clearing the distortions and darkness has made way for the saturation and receiving of frequency and light that you are currently feeling. These upgrades that can be felt in the physical, this is indeed your resurrection. This is the embodiment process. It is now underway. DNA, cellular consciousness, and belief systems through the all mind are now being reconfigured and altered forever. Never will you regress. Never will you relapse or be separated by your divine authority again. The success of such a mission weighs heavy in your strength and determination to face your fear of death. You plunged yourself wholeheartedly into your pain, knowing that within that suffering is your divinity and your sovereignty. You are now ready and able to receive these codes of consciousness. This renders the rebirth phase complete. Resurrection and life is your sweet reward. Only now will you experience the wisdom wealth code. This is not a gifting. This is not something that one goes in search for. The wisdom wealth code is an aspect within you that is the original default of your divine blueprint. You have always held this within, yet it was buried under layers of distortion accumulated over lifetimes of separation. No longer is this so. Through your commitment and devotion, you continued on through blind faith, trusting that your ancient one knows the way. You never failed on this mission to complete and be remembered back into wholeness. This is something I know much about. So, just coming back to your space now. So that is the first part of what he speaks about. There was so much more going on when I was channeling that. But what it's basically saying is, and what he was saying, and I don't think it comes up in this. I don't know. I feel like I'm on another planet at the moment, but it actually means that all of this darkness and distortion, because man, we've been in it time looping, and we get like a planetary shift and we're like, yeah, this is it. And it's like, in you go again. And just as we came into 2025 and we kind of moved into May where Pluto kind of like went retrograde, it was like the deepest dive. So the synchronistic, strategic line of events through astrology, through the Schumann resonance, now bloody spaceships come in with our mates on there. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's craziness. And it's on like popcorn, okay? Because I'm feeling a bit like this right now because I feel that there's been a sudden surge of us all coming together. I'm starting to have many conversations with you personally on WhatsApp. You know, a lot of you have kind of like heard the call, come into Egypt, whether it's Avalon or whatever. It's like everybody's ready to work with each other now. And I'm like spinning my wheels, man, because I'm like, this is what we came here for, right? So with this wisdom wealth code, what he was saying is like all of those dark nights of the soul, which led us into the absolute death of self and everything like that, everything has to be completely clear. That's why we work with Nephthys, okay? Because Nephthys came in and she was like, if you're going to move to the next level, and I didn't quite understand what she meant by that in September, eclipse season, when we were being hit with the absolute death, she was like, the only way through is you have to feel every single part of it. And there's nothing for you to heal away or actively work with because that's actually a resistance. You've got to feel it. You got to feel it, and you got to feel your pain to the end, because if that's not completed, then you can't receive these codes into your blueprint. So it's almost like they've been cleaning the glass. Do you know what I mean? To pour something brand new in, and that needed to be completed on. I mean, I don't remember my last embodiment. I'm just figuring this out as I go, but it makes sense to me that I'm like, okay, so now all that shit's out the way. It's a bit like moving into a brand new house and there's shitty wallpaper on the wall and it's all peeled off a bit. You're not just going to paint over it. You're going to like strip it down to the bare bones, put a fresh new something on there. Do you know what I mean? And just make it look nice, you know? So it's like, that's what we've been going through. So now we're at this point, and we're through, I believe we're through rebirth. I do, because if we keep rebirthing, we keep kind of like, you know, in that tentative stage of becoming. If Osiris is here, we are resurrecting. If resurrecting means physical body, that means it's time to get busy, chaps. You know what I mean? It's time to get out there now and really just like, whether it's just being a social butterfly, whether it's just going out there and creating that creation you wanted to create, whether it's writing that book, however you feel that Sekhmet has brought your understanding of your purpose online, you have to action it. You can't go back now. And I don't think we will, because we don't want to go back to that shit. I mean, like, honestly, when I think about the most recent death, it makes me shudder. Don't want to do it. So now let's just go back to what I was reading here, where it says these light upgrades that can be felt in the physical. This is indeed your resurrection. This is the embodiment process that is now underway. This is the 12 strands. Now, Josh, who's usually on the call with us, he's actually here in Cape Town. I was supposed to meet him up Table Mountain. He's usually in the UK and I'm here in Africa. Can you believe it? This is what I'm saying. We're so close to each other. He's like just there, but I was too busy dying to actually go up the mountain. So he's not here because he's got sunburn and he's like a lobster. So anyway, he got hold of me and he was like, girl, it came through last night. He was talking to me about the 12 strand DNA. And I was like, that's interesting. And then when I channeled it, obviously Osiris talks about the 12 strand DNA. Doesn't it make sense? We've been treading water, kind of working with the old way. And we all know there's a brand new something about to happen. And do you know what that brand new something means? Us coming together as a community and a consciousness, not part of the new age spirituality. That's donezo's. As you, uniquely you, but as one. Hey? That is what we're here to be, right? And you shine that consciousness and that light and that tablet of light, and you put it into action exactly how you see fit. Now, of course, the purpose, which I want to talk about this, the big agenda. And I mean, I know people say agenda and it always means shady shit. I'm talking about the spiritual agenda. Walking the dogs today, this is what came to me. Been on it today, been busy. So let's see how it lands with you guys, okay? So the big agenda. So basically control. Team Dark, that's all I'm going to call them. I'm not going to glorify them with anything else, but they're strategic and play, because they're going to come into this second channel in a minute. They want to control us, digital IDs, whatever, yawn. You know what I mean? It's just like, whatever. People are freaking out because this is a new thing. I'm like, no, it was happening in Egypt. We've been in this for so many millennia. Do you know what I mean? Millennia. So this is why it's so important and exciting that we've actually clicked over to the other side, right? The Lyrans oppose any level of control. That's what the Lyrans are here for. That's why you've got that Aquarius frequency in you. That's why you're Lyran. That's why you're Sekhmet, because we just go, we don't listen. We don't need to. What's that song, that Pink Floyd song? I'm probably going to listen to it after this. We don't, what is it? Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. That one, right? I'm going to go and play some seriously rebellious songs after this class, let me tell you, and just be rah-rah. But that's kind of the vibe. So all of us that sat at school, I didn't go to school. I'd go in the front gate and went out the back. All of us that absolutely fucking hated school, right? Or just didn't vibe with it, didn't fit in. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because you weren't supposed to. That was your superpower. Like, thank God you didn't fit in. Do you know what I mean? You were probably at the back gate with me, like, I don't know, smoking cigarettes and just getting up to shit. Because we don't vibe with the system. That's why we came in, to basically rage against the machine. I'm probably going to get taken off YouTube after this. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? But you see, this is the Lyrans. This is like, we're not supposed to fit in, but together we click. Right? So that's what we're putting together. Big Batman sign now, not just Marie's. Together we put it in the sky, right? So we do not fight the agenda. We become the movement through expression or purpose, okay? So it's like by you just expressing what makes your heart pop, you know, if you've got that little idea, I want to go and do that thing or whatever, or go and do that course, as long as you are in alignment with your heart's desire, that's purpose, right? You are here to live a life of joy and bring joy to others, right? That's the Egyptian Egyptian understanding, period. But it's like universal. So it's like that purpose that Sekhmet works with you constantly. It may not be that you're as active as me with bringing this group together, but let me tell you that like your consciousness and your heart codes hanging out with this tribe is incredibly important. Each and every one of us are deeply, deeply significant and matter. And that has been the problem so far up to date. Attending lots of groups, doing lots of workshops, going, well, I'm never going to be as powerful as my teacher and all that kind of thing until you sign up for the next one. And then you kind of go through it with a bit of hope. You get to the end of the workshop and you're like, same old shit, different day. Wait, this isn't that. It's not that. This isn't that. This is about us coming together and creating something brand new. We are building a new earth. I know that's been really like wrung out with the spiritual speak. It's the new earth and wada, wada, wada. But the old one is full of control. That is going to happen. Now, this is where it gets really deep, and I just want you to sit with this and let it just land or not land. Why did we come here? It wasn't to be badass powerful while we sat there with our fluffy socks on watching Netflix and The Witcher. Do you know what I mean? It's like we came here to like do some big shit. Why do you think you died so intensely? Just cause? Just so you could actually just be cool with just like your day-to-day stuff? No, not many people can go through that. And do you know what? Not many people have, because they didn't sign up for that level of this ascension, right? We were the front runners. Then others will come behind us, right? So sustainable living, off-grid, creating our own sacred order, family, generational wealth. There's the wealth word again, okay? And we're restoring that, okay? Because by doing what we're doing, we're going to that. Do you know what I mean? Being caught in the matrix by us just choosing being free thinkers. It's enough. That's going to carry on down your lineage, right? This will go long. This will go on long after we've gone. I reckon my kids will probably be still setting up this kind of like, you know, community and everything in the future. But if you want to know why you're here, it may not be something we build in this lifetime, but we're sure as shit going to like lay the foundations for this. And even if it's an energetic one, I ain't leaving this planet until my kids and other people's kids have got something to springboard into as a powerful starseed incarnate. And I ain't doing this shit. So I'm just like kumbaya to those that want to do it. But this is why it's a segment. Sorry. When segment comes in, I get like rah rah. You can tell the shift. You know what I mean? I've gone really hot now, and I know you're probably Miriam. I know you're probably sat there because you feeling like I do, and Michelle. But it's like this is what we're doing, right? So it's a bit of a kind of like, oh, more of a realization to you as to no wonder I've been through all this shit. No, it's not. You're not meant to go through this just to go and do some cool workshops on the weekend and teach some stuff. No, your power and your energy is immense. If your death was immense, then you come in to do some big stuff, right? And you can hold that energy and power. So this is why you came, right? Now, I use the word realize with Osiris, and I mentioned it on the channel the other day that I was sat having a little quiet moment on my step the other night. And this is before I got his channel, before I clicked in with him. And I said, Osiris, please make yourself known in me like Sekhmet does. I need to feel a flutter or a heart pop or something. And I was just like, just need to feel that you're there. And he said, one liner, he said, I have always been within you and with you. You just need to realize me, not recognize me, realize me. And when I heard that, something so short, realize versus recognize, one would say they're two same words, but they're not. Look up the meaning of realize, look at the definition. Realize is to actually something has come in as fact. And then if you look at the definition underneath it, it said realized assets, money, wealth. And I thought that's interesting because abundance and everything like that is about Osiris. I just went into a dictionary to go and see what the meaning was. In fact, me and Lindsay, who's on this call, we both looked it up and we were like, no way, it's got money underneath there. So it's all a bit like who. So this is where it's going to get really interesting for you guys now. And I'm going to take a beat and a pause. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to share before I go into the next level? Because please do, because there's a lot of shit going on right now. How does everybody feel? That's a no
I'm
then.
like super
Sleepy, sleepy,
excited.
sleepy.
Oh, is that Leela? Leela, hi,
Yeah.
Leela.
Hello. I'm just super excited that you're working so intensely with Thoth and Sekhmet, because those are like my two main deities. They're the only two I've like actually experienced clairaudience with. And
Yes.
when you mentioned like, oh, like it was the reptilians that like, okay, like all that stuff, literally in my garden, I found this baby snake.
No
Oh,
way.
And I've been wanting a baby snake, or I've been wanting a snake for the last year. I've had snakes before, but I've moved a bunch and then I gave them away. Um, and literally my cat was about to attack him, so I saved him, and then he just like wanted to stay with me, and he's like the sweetest thing. And
Oh my God.
yeah, year of the snake, and I'm like, whoa, okay, this was just days ago. This was on Thursday or Friday of last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. And you so you got Sekhmet and Wadget there, like
Yeah,
winner.
that's his name now. Her name, his,
Is
who
it?
knows? But
Yeah. How do you sex a snake? I don't care. It's Wadget.
it's a painful thing, and they don't want that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, they'll just leave it be then. But
yeah.
that's amazing. That is amazing, you know? So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing and thank you for bringing that reptilian energy in because I'm all about snake energy as well, like massively, you know? So, yeah. And Capri, where's Capri? Are you on my screen here? Oh, Capri, you're down here. So, definitely have been feeling the death. This is a very hopeful call. Yes, it is. And I love the fact that you use the word dissolve, okay? Because basically, as we know, snake energy, right? It's all about like alchemy and things like that. And this is the word that Sekhmet's been using with me a lot, dissolving this last layer. And it keeps pricking my ears up. I'm a real one word kind of chick, and I like to go in and dissect the word and find out the frequency in the English language. Do you know what I mean? And dissolve to like, you know, dissolute, do you know what I mean? Or dissolute or whatever. It's dissolving. It's just like it's just yeah, I can't even put it into words, but I love the word dissolve. And this is also as well, if you're not feeling look, I'm a way show, I'm always going to go a little bit ahead, right? But if you're not there, you're about to be there. Trust me when I say that you are going to get your codes blasted through because like I say, there's a higher power in charge here. Do you know what I mean? And your higher self knows what's up. And also as well, I want to chuck in the mix when you have those moments of just like, oh my God, tap into your ancient one, tap into your higher being, and basically understand and know that your higher being has come to look after your human. And you could liken your human a little bit like the inner child. So you're having a bit of a wobbly tits up day, which sometimes happens with me, especially with perimenopause. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you just kind of have a bit of compassion and you tap into your higher self and you sit there and you just have a conversation with them and then you look at your human and you're like it's okay, it's all right. And then you have this sense without sounding like a crazy person that you have like two of them in you, which is essentially that. And then it helps you be more compassionate to your human because let's face it, that part of us is trying to catch up and is just mouthing the words every day, what the fuck, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? And it's our higher self that's just going, come this way. We're good. Don't worry about a thing. And you're just sat there like, oh my God. You know, so in a way, you got to laugh at yourself. Humor, let me tell you, is the savior of this shit. Because I tell you what, if I'd been a real serious spiritual type, I think I would have probably popped my clogs by now, AKA died, you know? So it's like humor, you've got to laugh at your shit, man. You know what I mean? Because humor's right up there with love, right? So that's what we're going to do. So now I'm going to take you into the wisdom wealth code now. So this is going to blow your little sockies off. And then like I say, you're going to want to read this again and again because I've had to. Okay. So now let's come into our space again. Again, it's going to be very okay. Let me just see here from Leela. Speaking of death, I embodied in ritual theatre in spontaneous presentation with the gong set. Oh wow! Oh my God, Jesus! Like that is electric. Oh my God. Gong therapy. Well, that's very interesting. You bring in sound therapy, by the way. For those of you that are struggling, sound bath, sound bath, sound bath. I received a massive one on Saturday morning, and it made a huge difference. I think it was very, very synchronistic to where we were going over until now. So I think sound healing, sound frequency is the best thing. To be very, very gentle with your bodies, breath work. Maybe for me personally, I feel like anything that's too hard to work, I need to receive. I really feel that, like, with the support that you want right now, it needs to be gentle and very feminine and everything like that. Gongs, you know, dance, all that kind of stuff. Breath work, well, my breath work that I teach is flipping intense and it's hard work, right? So I kind of think maybe stay away from that. And yeah, thank you, Leela. Just, yeah, doing the frequencies on YouTube, just tap into them discerningly and just muscle test yourself and make sure that they're of the high vibe. Absolutely. Leave that in and just soothe your system. So yeah, definitely for that. So now getting yourself comfortable as we now go into Osiris, who speaks on wealth versus money. This is on point. Okay, so just taking a nice big deep breath in again, inhale, and just breathe out. And that one breath will bring you back into your center. And just tapping in and just feeling the energy of Osiris. Feeling the energy of your beautiful calm lake, maybe sat on your rowboat still. But opening your heart and opening your senses and opening all your cells to receive what Osiris is about to share. And may that which falls upon your ears land in your heart, and that which is resonant for you, that is really important to unlock your gates, unlock your gateways, which is what Osiris is all about. May that find you. May that find you. You have been led to believe that wealth and money are the same consciousness. This is not true. You have been led to think that money is the route to happiness and success. You've been misled. How long have you pursued money? How many times has it eluded you? How hard do you work to sustain the longevity to have money? How much joy, happiness, and success through the pursuit of money have you gained? In the few times that you have received a windfall, does your soul still yearn for something else? Are you devoid of that satisfaction? For those who have known money, at what cost did you pay to receive it? Were you having to perform to know money? Performance versus authenticity. If money is the root of all happiness, then why does it deliver so much misery, lack, and separation in a universe embodied by love? I would like to bring to the conversation now, money is the root of all evil. Take a moment to feel into the energy of such words. I'll say it again. Money is the root of all evil. What truth does this speak? Money was strategically placed into the world to serve a purpose, separation and lack. The consciousness of money is deeply encoded with intention, with scarcity consciousness and lack, so that you as a collective are easily manipulated and controlled. Your mission on Gaia is vital. Your wisdom awakening on such matters will change the course on Gaia forever. Do you still feel insignificant? Are you awakening to the truth that your lack was not failure, merely the oxygen you were being fed? When you are consciously creating with lack consciousness, you are ultimately pouring poison toxins into your cosmic cauldron of alchemy. Your manifestations will always crash and never create. I invite you to visualize and feel into what is shared now. A sacred chest, abundant in wealth and prize, beautiful jewelry, bracelets, crystalline and encrusted necklaces. Yet you focus on the one piece, just the one piece. You disregard the rest. Madness? Of course. Why not receive the whole chest that is being gifted and presented to you? It's yours, beloved. The one piece of jewelry is money. You choose that currency over all else. You are in lack. And now, walk with me a little further. Picture the beauteous and magically abundant scenes of the Nile. So much fertility, so much life, so much potential and promise. You plant your seed in just one place. You are hyper-focused on just that one seed. You stand vigil over this seed, intensely staring at the soil, willing and waiting for your seed to grow, waiting for it to take on life. As you intensely stand and watch over your seed, the less it grows. You have lost connection and awareness of that which surrounds you. There is an abundance of fertility and growth all around you, yet you choose to watch the seed. All around you is a wealth of growth and abundance, so much gift and prize, so much sustenance and support, yet you focus on that which does not grow, does not gift, and does not reward, plunging you into a world of worry and doubt. This seed is your money tree, seeded with lack and scarcity. Turn your gaze to the banks of the Nile. Look up and see. There is a wealth of palms that grow tall, abundant and flourishing with fruit, ready for harvest, ripe and ready for the picking. You pick the fruit with a wealth of gratitude in your heart. Satisfaction saturates your soul. There is a deep feeling of safety and support, and then you realize It is not the thing that you seek in this world to satisfy. It is the harmony, joy, and alignment in your heart when you are immersed in the alchemy of creation. It is the process of potential that brings your wealth code online. And it is your wisdom and understanding of this process that ignites your wisdom wealth code. I am Osiris, the god of paradise. I welcome you to your new world of wealth. Take a nice big deep breath into that. And exhale. And just let all of that land. Let all of that land. So, when we go back to where he was talking about, where did I write? Oh, yeah. This seed is your money tree, seeded with lack and scarcity. It came to me and I put a little note to myself. What did your mum always used to say to you? Money doesn't grow on trees. Another example of how money is programmed through the power of word, even by us, right? So the craziness of all of this. So basically what he's saying, which I've channeled a lot of things and I receive a lot of things and it's all just like, yeah, feel good, feel powerful, carry on going and all the rest of it. I want practical guidance, creative directive to get this shit done now. Okay. And I think that we're talking practical now. We're talking about all of those things. And that's what Osiris is doing. He's bringing it into the physical body. He's bringing it into your cells and everything like that. Remember, your connection to the absence of abundance, let's say, is deeply ingrained in our parents, our forefathers, our foremothers, and all the rest of it, right? That's how it was back then, but it has to stop here. So if it stops here, how do we do that? How do we build generational wealth? Well, if those of you that have children, you definitely are going to have children when they get to a certain age, you encourage them. Do not just be a family on your own with wifey, husband, and a kid and just buy a house and all that kind of thing. The way that you bring generational wealth together is the whole family working together and putting in one pot. That's how we instill the abundance codes back into our family line. I'm doing that. I will probably not benefit from it, but you know what? I'll look down from the stars and I'll see my great great grandbabies who've got wealth because they'll say, I don't know, I had a crazy grandma Marie who was on fire with magic and shit, and she put something back into the lineage. And that's the way I'm looking. So I'm looking out there, but I am also looking here. Okay, so I'm not bypassing myself because that's lack. But what we need to do is if we work as a collective and we unplug, just as Osiris says, leave money alone. Big game plan. They're getting rid of cash in the world. Okay, cash is king. No, it's not. Cash is not king. Cash can just stay over there because even though they're turning everything into a digital currency, to every dark move, there's a light one. When we went through COVID, everybody was like, oh, it was put there by the dark side. I was like, no, it wasn't. It was put by the light if you chose to see it. And we all woke up. And I started this like big time, and there's always, remember, distortion is always either or. So even though you're going to choose fear or love. So you look at the world and they go, okay, digital currency and all the rest of it. Brilliant. Great. We don't have to hold $100 notes, which has been encoded with lack by some other poor bugger who's got nothing and tried to hold on to it. And now it's in your hand. It's a slippery fish. It's trying to catch water with your fingers. It's never going to happen. But if we can work with digital money where, like, let's keep it real, kids. Angel numbers. That's all we do all day. I know I'm an absolute crazy professor. I'm like 111, 777, 22, and I'm like, it just drives me mad. I'm like, woo, I'm like, honestly, like a mad professor. And like, that's how we need to engage with money because as it goes into digital, that's effectively in our realm of like brilliant, right? So it's going to work for us in that realm. So always find the other side of it rather than world domination. We're all fucked and going to die, whatever. Do you know what I mean? No, we're not. We're not, because this is a big strategy. They have their idea, we have ours. But we were meant to come together and bring all of our encodements together and just activate and do things energetically. We have a web over the whole world. And this is why they're trying so hard to push it through. Many will get stuck in their web, but you know what? I'm over here and we're going to be just fine on this side. Do you know what I mean? So when you have those moments of fear, because I get it as well. I mean, my kids are in the UK and I'm looking at the world going, holy shit, you know what I mean? But then I remind myself, straighten my crown, fluff my lion mane up, and kind of like, you know, get my little paws out, and I'm that. Sekhmet, man. You know what I mean? This is like, I'm here to build sovereignty, and that starts within me, right? So this is a really, really powerful channel from Osiris, which basically says when we're talking about, you know, us being the anchors and the bridge, that's what we are. That was the biggest, most powerful job to be undertaken. When we pass the baton to the next lot, okay, that might be our kids or just a younger generation, whatever. We were the ones who grew up with this, transmuted it through our beings, and created the bridge. Don't worry, you can all come over now. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how badass that is? Do you know how cool it is? Because if you sit here and go, oh my God, I'm just failing and dying all the time. I'm like, no, you're not. You're winning. You're winning at life. Do you know what I mean? And this is what Osiris says as well. This is why it's really important. How do we anchor that? Okay. How do we do it? Well, the way you do it and you make yourself present, your presence known in the world is you follow that purpose that you've got going on. If something blows your doors off and it excites you, you want to go and learn to be a tattoo artist, go and do it. You want to be a DJ, go and do it. You want to write a book and just put a blog out there, go and do it. Make sure you pick the joy codes in every moment. Now I'm going to bring the I am presence in now because he was talking about that as well. And I have notes for days. I've been like a mad scribe today on crack cocaine. It's been ridiculous. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's all about the I am presence. Now, this wealth code as well has been a bit misled because I know there was loads of people that really loved The Secret and in a way that did more damage than good. And I'll explain to you why. Because we were focusing on the thoughts and the things, and we want to have that car, and we want to have the money and everything like that. So, of course, that was halfway up the pyramid. You know, I'm always about pyramids. The Moses Code is a really good book to go and read, receive. So make a note of that. Moses Code is absolutely brilliant. And it's James F. Twyman, I think his name is. Him and a very, very big bunch of high up teachers are kind of like respectful of the Secret and everything like that. But a lot of people fell away and failed, perceived to be failed, more than actually won with that. So what happened was there was a lot of people that died, that regressed. And then that last little bit of hope, they were like, I'm done. So it did more damage than good. Now, the Moses Code speaks about the triangle. Okay. So as we go up, even the halls of Amenti, that's a whole other podcast, but it's the kind of same vibe, the omega point, we're going to the top, right? All the way. Now, the Secret only goes halfway up the pyramid. We only work halfway. What the fuck? Go all the way to the top. If you are the I am presence, right? And I am that I am. If you're seeing a picture in front of you and you're like, that's what I want to look like. I want to be a really abundant, conscious CEO, living my life, doing those things. Visualize that and you say, I am that I am. Okay. But like when you really want to just get all the prize and wealth and everything like that, it is all about the I am presence. Because if you are fully embodied and you know yourself as that, okay, money comes anyway. It's a byproduct of being that. So just keep being sovereign. Stop chasing money because it's encoded in lack. So do you see how, I mean, I'm getting it now. Do you see how you can get kicked back? Because the actual energy of money per se does not match your frequency. It will never, ever match your frequency, right? Because of the lack code, right? So if we leave that alone and we just basically call it wealth, when we say wealth, how does that feel in your body? How does it feel in your being? It gives you richness. Wealth is just rich. I have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of this, a wealth of that. It's like, it's so much more. It's like the banks of the Nile. It's the fertility of those soils. That's why Egypt was so wealthy, because it was just like everything grew there. And the thing is, if your shit's growing, then you're going to be good. So start talking about wealth and prize, because Ceridwen, who's another goddess that I work with, who's the Avalonian teachings, she's the keeper of the cauldron, and she talks about wealth and prize all the time. And it just feels good in my system. But when I'm chasing coins, it actually makes me like, I'll give you a perfect example. How was the temple born? Right? I'll give you a perfect example, actually. Thank you, Spirit. So I've always had a problem with basically kind of selling. I hate selling. if you don't like bananas, there ain't shit that I can do. I can't send you a newsletter and do this and do that and make you like bananas. By the end of our conversation, you're like, oh, it's amazing, Maria. I like bananas. No, you don't. You either like it or you don't. You either hate me or you love me. You either dig my videos or you don't dig my videos. There's someone out there for everybody. So I'm constantly going to say, hey, I'm doing this. You want to come? Hey, I'm doing this. I want to come. But I'm never, ever going to hard sell because I don't believe in it, right? Because basically there's a vibrational match there, right? So anyway, here I was going, I really want to do a class. And then I get really creative. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh God, you've got to put a price ticket on it. And I was like, but I really don't want to. And then when I started to entertain that, when I was trying to build the temple, because I was like, great idea to do a classroom at the end of the month to match the videos. I got this massive, like, it was actually Ma'at who came through. She said, balance the scales, take the value off. And I remember thinking, that doesn't sound very good. Take the value off. And she meant take the price tag off. She said, do you enjoy teaching? I was like, yeah. She said, do you trust my guidance? Yeah. And this was in a deep meditation. So I just put it out there for free. So my currency, okay, my currency is all you guys turning up because I get somebody to teach to and teach with and meditate with and all the rest of it. And then like, if you choose to go further with me, then happy days, whatever. But my currency comes as like the what the temple has gifted me, basically, so much. So much. I have met so many of you. I've made super friends through this as well. And it's actually really helped the purpose and the movement. So that's its currency. Am I abundantly looked after? And I do not want anybody to see this as a flex or go, oh, I'm not though, because I'm not that kind of person. But I have to bring it up for the purpose of teaching, right? I have two worlds. I have a very abundant life where I can basically fly, do whatever I want, go wherever I want, whenever I want. Okay. I'm abundantly looked after. Is it my abundance? Not necessarily. It's my husband's, right? He's like massive conscious entrepreneur and all this kind of stuff. And I often sit there and go, well, shit, I am so lucky. That's why I can do all of this for free. And I do very little for charging. And I think that that's my contribution. But my point is why is it that I don't worry about my abundance? Because I trust that he's okay. I trust that he's providing. I don't even worry about it. Every single month, the wheel keeps turning. I'm not focusing on him. I'm not worrying about the abundance that comes through him. But let me tell you, when it comes to my abundance and how much comes through my bank account, zero. Isn't that interesting? So I've been put into this life to be able to see, but I have abundance here, but why can't I get this stream as big as that? Because I'm focusing on this like a mofo and just thinking, come on, Marie, your self-worth. Come on, you got this, girl. You got this. And I'm like, grow, seed fucking grow. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you hold on too tightly because I'm focused on money. Do I need to be? No. So just chill out because I have all of this over here. So we have a very, very powerful teaching example of how abundance flows in and how it doesn't for us, okay? Because it's all money orientated. And I really want you to tap into these little exercises. Sekhmet showed me this. She said to me, right, think about, she gives me everyday scenarios. Think about when you are in a restaurant. Say you're chatting to your friend, somebody comes up, a waitress, and she says, what do you have? And you're like, oh, thanks so much. Coffee, burger, chips. Yeah, awesome, great. You carry on talking to your friend. Do you sit there and go, I need to follow her into the kitchen. She ain't going to make my burger. I know she's not. And then before you know it, you're in there with the chef getting in everybody's way going, just make sure you put cheese on there. I mean, you don't do that, do you? You trust and you know that your burger's going to come. It gets delivered. That's a manifestation in its own right. When you order a book from Amazon, it turns up because you have complete and trust that it's going to come. It's going to come. So when we over focus on everything, it comes from a place of lack of trust. Right? But this is why I'm saying your wealth code is going to change because whether you struggle with abundance or not, it's coming out in the wash. And what I mean by that is like what with all this energy coming in last night, with all of the Schumann resonance popping, with all of the, my God, the astrology is just absolute bonkers. And I just look at how we've been working this whole year, all of us together. Think about it. I mean, the furthest I can go back is maybe Ma'at. Sekhmet is always around, but we kind of did we did Wadjet, which is all about the transformation and everything like that. Then we went into Hathor, which she pre set us up to come into these bodies, and I was like, oh, coming into embodiment. Then we moved into Nephthys, then we moved into Set, and then we now think about everything you've done. If you've followed this channel, okay, and you've moved with this tribe, like you can't write this shit. And now we're basically moving into November, which means like Thoth's coming in, and you're just like, there is very little for you to worry about now, because just by you facing your wounding, just by you going through that stuff, that's the whole thing. So if I'm saying to you, there's nothing to do now, what does that mean? You're kind of cool. I haven't really been doing anything now. I'm just going to let it all flow. If that's how you're feeling, what are you in? You're in receiving mode, right? You're in receiving mode. Goosebumps, goosebumps. I struggle with receiving because I'm just really good at giving. It's way more comfortable. It's like when somebody says, you can't like that top you're wearing, you're like, oh, this whole thing. Meanwhile, you bought it yesterday. Why can't you turn around and just say, yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? I look really hot. Why don't we say that? We don't. Oh no, we just play it down. Do you know what I mean? So this is what I feel is really, really powerful about where we're going to right now. So it all is about perspective, right? So your next tentative step is indeed, okay, working with wealth. Just change it. Just change how you think about everything. Wealth. And I want you to go back to this meditation, which again I will put on on YouTube written post part. And I want you to go back to this again and again and again, because this is the whole point of it. Like we are so focused on the one thing, and we've got to expand out to the wealth code. And that is the encodement that each and every one of us holds in our blueprint, but not everybody's activated it. But you're going to activate it in yourself. Now, another reason why it's very important for those that feel called. I'm not really part of the New Age spirituality. I don't dig that. I don't vibe with that. I've tried to, and I just can't. But the thing is, it's like money. Also, the New Age spirituality is encoded with lack, wounded healers, everybody's struggling, and all this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like that is also under the banner. That New Age spirituality got very subtly created in the old world. Still a little bit of interception there, I feel. So if you're here and you're hanging out with me, what's your role? Do you step away from the crowd? Do you not fit in? Are you a bit of a hermit? I am. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm just waiting to connect with my tribe, you know? And right now, as we move to the end of the year, this is what's going to be happening. So when you get to 2026, which is a 1 year, it's like, hold on to your hats. It's moving and it's a shaking. But I really do sense and feel that November is going to be really, really, really big. And like I say, just open your energy field, but have this awareness of the lack that has been encoded in the very thing you're trying to work with, right? Because the more you go through this and the more safety codes are revealed, which I feel this is this final purge, the more you go through this is basically you're going to become magnetic and you're going to just see things just coming to you now. It's just easy. You know what I mean? It's just easy. But like I said, we have to get our head out of like, do something, get paid, because it's not always like that. And I think that we're so controlled with like, oh my God, we don't have the gold coins in the bank. But if we expand our understanding and consciousness of how much wealth can come in and what it can look like, it may come through somebody you meet. They invite you to a do, and then you got a wealth of friends, and then you get invited, and before you know, very subtly you look around and go, holy shit, I was sat in my pajamas at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon the other day, just me and my dog. Now all of a sudden I'm part of this community, and I actually haven't worried about money for a while. And that is how these things work. There's never a boom clack moment where you wake up tomorrow and you're a fat millionaire. Do you know what I mean? It's always subtle. It's always subtle. So stop looking for it, because then you go back to what Osiris is saying, is that you kind of like, you hone into it too much and you squeeze the life out of it, and remembering as well that the Nile is indeed a portal, and it's a portal for rebirth. Okay. It is also the reflection of the Milky Way in the stars, and as above, so below. And it's just magical energy. So when you feel yourself freaking out and you need to pacify your nervous system, go and float on a boat down the Nile. I mean, physically, I'm going in May, just by the way. But like, if you want to go and visit there with your with your energy, and just go and onto Pinterest, go and have a look at the Nile, and just see how it's teeming with figs and the. Oh my God, it's amazing when you stand there on the side of the Nile. It's just so much life, and that is the abundance codes, right? Abundance and wealth. Leave the money behind. Okay. So how's everybody feeling? Anybody want to add to the conversation before I go into our next little adventure to round it off? How's everyone's feeling? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let's just get a thumbs up. People are like, don't pick me, Marie. Don't pick me. Because sometimes I do that. I'm not going to do it today, though. I'm too tired. It's like being at a strip show, isn't it? When you're like, not that I've ever done that, by the way. And you're the one that's so scared about going to Magic Mike. And you're like, don't want to be pulled up. Don't want to be pulled up. You'll be sat right at the back and they will sense your fear. And they will be like, get her at the back. And before you know it, you've got some legs wrapped around your neck. I don't know. That's just according to a friend's story. I'm just saying. So now what we're going to do is to bring all of this energy in, because you know what? Without Osiris, there's no Cyrus without Isis, right? So it's like, let's bring the kind of like divine balance in there, maybe a little bit of Ma'at. I don't know, but I just feel that this meeting is very, what's the word? Soothing and all encompassing. It's just, you've made it. You have. You've made it. Any residual things coming up, because I keep getting flash conversations where I'm like, oh, I need to panic about this. And I'm like, no, don't. No, don't. It's almost like, it's just a little last grab for life, right? Transmute it with the flames, tell it to sit down. You're good. You know what I mean? So you're going to be expected to be a little bit up and down. And with this energy coming in with Atlas, it's big. It's really, really, really big. So, I am keeping super still for the rest of the week. I will not be moving until November, which is next week. Well, it's actually about now, isn't it? But anyway, just be super still. I have no idea. What year are we in? I have no idea. Honestly, I don't even know my name at the moment. It's just like, whatever. Okay, my darlings, well, get yourself super comfortable. Okay, and just get yourself into a place of receiving. All right, taking a nice big deep breath in again, and exhale. All those breaths is just to bring you into this nice centered space. And this is like no work involved here, man, just receiving. So now, as you take some nice deep breaths, there we go. Taking some nice big deep breaths, inhale. And as you breathe out, you're going to activate that blue lotus petals once more. And as you do so, you find yourself drifting off. And you're literally just lying on a bunch of beautiful, really brightly covered cushions, like Moroccan style. And you're actually in a boat, very low to the water boat. A wooden boat that is just sailing itself down the Nile. And it's the daytime and you're lying there just like a big lazy lizard. Got to bring the reptilians in. And then just allowing your fingertips to just drift in the water. And you are in such a deep state of relax. The boat is low enough and your pillows elevate you enough where you can actually look to your left and your right. And you've got the most beautiful, magnificent, breathtaking view of the Nile. All of the reeds and the papyri that grow on the side. And then all of these herons and bird life, and herons and ibis is actually Thoth. So you will see the gods show themselves in many forms. And as you lie here on this boat, you look down just beyond your feet. There is no one sailing this boat. For this boat is magically infused with Heka. It's sailing itself. Or rather, are you sailing it? Because you are indeed a very magical person. And as you float down the Nile, you feel this deep sense of relief, this deep sense of relax. Like, Oh, you can chill. And as you're floating down the Nile, you feel the warm rays of Ra as he pours his sun rays onto your being, restoring that which has been depleted. You take a big breath in and you smell the watery banks of the Nile. You hear the bird life, and the sun is at half mast and it's just going into sunset. And as you sail down this Nile with so much peace in your heart, satisfaction, completion, you find the boat suddenly rocks. And as you lift your head slightly, you have arrived, for there is a beautiful temple that waits for you. And as you sit upright, you see this temple is actually in the middle of the Nile. It's a huge island. And you know this temple very well. For where the boat has magically brought you to is Temple Philae, Isis's temple. You find yourself climbing on to the land. And you walk up slowly, not even questionable about who's going to meet you here. You just follow the guidance. And as you place your feet on the land, you feel this ignition of excitement, ignition of knowing, abundance, beautiful, infinite abundance. For this is Isis's, this is her land. And as you look around, I mean, you thought the Nile was abundant. This is just beauteous. The palm trees that sit on this island, they vibrate in magic and energy. You walk in now, you walk up the steps and you walk into this massive courtyard with these beautiful pillars all the way down each side. And right in front of you is a huge pylon. And that is the first pylon, the entry to the Holy of Holies. As you stand here, still allowing the sun setting, Ra's sun, pouring into your skin, you feel the last hours of the day. You walk towards this place. And as you walk, you just feel the energy and the sun arise in your own being. And as you walk into this place, you are now greeted by no other than Isis and Osiris. They walk towards you, but they're not coming in your normal judicial, godlike forms. They run towards you like you are old friends, because you are. So there was none of the bowing or praying or anything like that. Isis runs towards you. She is screaming and excited, and she's like, "You're here." And she wraps her arms around you, and you swing each other around like your sisters of old, because you are heart to heart and then forehead to forehead. You give each other a kiss on the cheek and you hold each other's hands close as you stare and squeeze into each other's eyes. Sheer excitement and just so much love for one another. And then you feel a hand on your back. And this hand just brings in powerful grounding energy, like soothing. And it is Lord Osiris. And he's like the biggest brother. And he's big and he's strong and he puts his arms around you as well and he holds you in such a way that you start to cry. It's different when you hug Osiris because there is a feeling of safety, a feeling deep down that you can let go now. And Osiris sees your emotion. She sees how Isis sees how far you have come, how far you've walked. And she knows that emotion is real. And as you tremble in Osiris's arms as he holds you, the tears roll down your cheeks. She places her hand on the back of your heart to comfort you, just to let her know her presence is here. And as Osiris holds you, your body goes limp. And then he starts to chant. And he brings through a chant now, which activates your solar plexus and then activates your third eye. Ah. Ooh. Your body vibrates and it brings well-needed soothing. And you step back from Osiris and he nods his head, For he knows that this is not a time for sadness. It is a little bit of recuperation and rest. But this is resurrection, he says. He holds your hand, Isis takes your hand, and then before you know it, all of that emotion is gone and you're dancing around, swinging each other. And then Isis suddenly claps her hands, and there's all of these women drummers coming out with the frame drums. Were they waiting for you all along? Is this a surprise party? I do not know. But they start flooding out, and then people are playing, they're playing their flutes, the women are playing their hand drums, and they are playing their sistrums, and they're summoning Hathor and all of the goddesses to celebrate with you now. And as you sit back in awe, you start to see that there is a pig on the spit. They put all of this food out, and then before you know it, all the people from the village are there as well. And you find yourself just stood holding hands with Osiris and Isis, looking on at this community, beautiful people of the land that have all brought something to come and celebrate with you now. And there is dancing and there is drumming, and you just don't take any time to go into the center and just start flicking your hair and just enjoying the beats, and the fires are going, and it's just a massive party. It's a celebration. And as you dance and you swirl, you feel like a brand new time is being born. The people are so glad to be with one another and you. And you have this feeling of just like the loneliness is gone. No more of separation, only of celebration. No more of separation, only of celebration. And you find yourself dancing into the night now, until your body gets weary, but only because you have danced so much. Your belly is full. You've been drinking mead, Blue Lotus, enjoying. You look up at the stars. And then suddenly, as you stand there in the midst of all the celebration, which is still going, you see the seven Pleiades. They circle above you. It's almost like they twinkle and they wink. And that is Hathor, the sky goddess, just winking at you, the seven Hathors, the seven Pleiades. And you feel a heart pop and a connection to the stars, a connection to this temple, connection to Isis and Osiris and the people, your community. Now I want you to take a moment and breathe in what that feels like. It feels like wealth. It feels like you have the wisdom because you understand what true wealth really is. Never will you be in poverty again. Never will you be in scarcity again. You will always be provided for. And this is an inner being thing. You know who you are, and you know thyself. To know thyself is to know the gods, and you are indeed an ascended master yourself. Everyone is. You take a breath into the feeling of oneness, the feeling of community, the feeling of belonging, and no longer ever scratching around for scraps. It's done. Isis can see you from a distance, having that moment. And she makes her way over to you now. And she places her hand on your heart. And so does Osiris. Osiris comes now. And he also stands before you. He places his hand on your heart. And in that moment, you feel a sudden explosion of codes. For you have balanced your divine masculine and feminine, and you are the peak of the pyramid. You are the point. You are the creation. And the creation is wealth. The creation is love. The creation, it's you. So taking a nice big deep breath into your being now. And you're sort of aware, as I'm closing this down a little bit, this is still going because the star consciousness I just got shown is actually pouring all the way down into you. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. There's something very powerful about the star nations right now, your star families. The whole world is watching. And they are pouring their love and adoration, including the seven Pleiades, which is the seven Hathors. They're pouring their love down to you. When you thought that you were forgotten, when you thought that you were forsaken, when you thought that there was no hope, they are always there to remind you that you are part of it all, man. You're part of it all. So taking a nice big deep breath into this love, embodiment, wealth, completion. And now just bringing your energy field in just a little bit. If you're not sure, ask your guides to show you. And as you bring your energy in just a little bit, I want you to spin a golden cord of energy around like a golden crust. Spin it around and around and around until you are beautifully sealed in with this energy. Not to protect yourself in a fearful way, to keep you protected in an alignment way. And you may come back to this place whenever you feel called to do so. So much love. So much love. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Ooh, that was nice, wasn't it? Hey, that was nice. Okay, so me and Osiris and Isis, we're friends. We're friends. We're friends. That was lovely. That was like, that's what's to come. That was the ancient times of what it was back then. And that is what's to come. That is what's to come. This togetherness, right? That feeling, that connection, you know? And it may not always be literal, but there's a feeling that we're part of something, of each other, no longer sitting out there on your own, you know? So I'm just going to pull a card because I always do. Okay. Oh, the volcano. I can't see. Let me just put my lights on. 1 second. Hey, it's not always a good thing when you have a black dog and it's a black room. I nearly just flew over Anubis. All of a sudden, you'll be like, Maria's left the building. Shit. Okay. So the volcano, relationships, express, don't stagnate. So what I believe that is our star seed. Reach out and meet your star seeds. I know next year. Well, Michelle, you and I are going to meet in person. Debbie, I'm sure that's on the cards. Miriam, we're going to be meeting in Egypt. Do you know what I mean? It's all happening. And like all of these are meeting points. And I'm just so excited for it. And I know that when I come over to the States, I'm probably just going to hang out with y'all. That's what I want to do. And that's just going to bring an absolute new life. So that's where it does take a little bit of action now. And that's what Osiris was saying, is that for us to really, really like, you know, he said, death, rebirth, and resurrection doesn't mean anything unless you are prepared to step into life and live it. Otherwise, it just hangs on that resurrection. It doesn't ignite. So there are going to be changes that you need to make in your life. Like on the weekend, I had 2 days where I was social. Did I want to go? No, I was like a baby. I was like, I don't want to go. Did I go and have a good time? I had an amazing time. I was like, why didn't I do that before? Because I like to just close off, but those times are gone now. So it's going to take a little bit of effort. You're going to feel like you don't want to go to that, or you're going to feel that you don't want to go and meet those people because it's whatever, because it's what you've always done. But once you do, let me tell you, because spirit can't get to you if you're just going to stay in your little cave. It's not. You have to go out there and put yourself into experiences, into conversations, put yourself out there a little bit, because you cannot heal from the very thing that made you sick, which is feeling in separation. All right. So now let's see what our next card is. Okay. Wisdom keeper, a new perspective, study and learning. Now that's actually what I'm doing, which that as well is actually going to ignite change in your life. If you feel that you want to study anything or make sure it's from a place of joy, not because you're feeling inadequate and you need to basically do something to make yourself feel more worthy. If you just love studying plants and flowers, then do that. Do you know what I mean? Make sure it comes from joy. Okay. Oh, Leela, that's an invite. Okay, I'm coming to California. No, for real though. just been invited. Okay, I'm just going to invite myself all over to your houses, me and my dogs. No, but for real, definitely. That would be amazing, you know? And then we can get all the tribe together because I know it's a lot easier for you to come over there than come all the way over to Africa, you know? And also planting seeds. I'm not worried. I know when this wealth code kicks in, there's going to be a stampede. Sekhmet already told me that there would be a stampede to Egypt and Avalon because I know, and this is not flex, I know it's because you're not coming because you think it's shit. I know you think it's amazing, but it's the abundance. Do you know what I mean? So I know your codes are going to come online and I know that I've got a place for you when that happens. So I'm not worried. So, you know, watch out January. We're all going to be like running around like booking trips and things like that. You know what I mean? Okay, final card. So we have live the question, curiosity. Open your mind, live into it. Can't write this stuff, can you? Open your mind and live into it. Okay. So that's exactly what it is. This encompasses the whole class, which is change your perspective, most definitely towards money, new word wealth. If you're going to connect with money, you're going to get kicked out of it. And then when we move into November, I have got some very, very powerful codes coming through from Toth. He's taking my Heka codes to the next level. And I have to just run it on my own being first before I chuck it out there. So I'm going through an embodiment process in itself. And then these tools that Toth is going to give me is going to help you cultivate your wealth. So I'm like being given the step-by-step versions. You're going to figure a lot of it out on your own anyway, because it's just going to come through with your downloads. But what I am going to be sharing in November is going to be very much to do with working with Toth and the Heka codes, which is alchemy. And it really is just practical. It's about infusing your words with certain breath and vibration. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that by the time we've kind of like reminded ourselves on how to do it this way with the help of Toth, abundance codes are coming, man. You know what I mean? This is the final stretch. So I'm here for it, man. And I know you are. I know you are. So, oh God, Derona, thank you. Oh my God, have you seen this? So place here in North Carolina as well. I'm up for it all, guys. So I think that I just need to like when I've got my abundance and my diary in order, I would love to come over and host in the States because I do know and Atlanta. Yes, Debbie. Yes. I'm gonna just do a whole tour. Okay, some reason tour, but no, seriously, you know, and it's for those conscious creators as well. Those of you that kind of like, you know, are ready to kind of like share something and everything like that. This is the conversations we're having. It is now time to put it out there in the world, in person. I'm going to be I'm just working on something, running a Heka Codes group, which I haven't done for a very long time, and it's going to be with Toth. And it's going to be through the month of November. And I'm going to encompass and Honolulu. Oh God, my God. Definitely, Miriam. Miriam, I'd already spoken to you. I'd already decided. You know, it's like going to happen. I mean, like, so like, yeah, so that's amazing. But this is like, look at this conversation. Are you telling me that like we're not talking about embodiment codes here? We would never have spoken about this a few months ago. Everybody be like, oh God, no, I'm not inviting her. Do you know what I mean? So it's like this is amazing. And I'm like so going to take you all up on this offer. And because, like I say, the Heka Codes is going to be a group which is going to propel you. It's only going to be 3 weeks, but it's going to be kind of like a crash course with these new gifts and tools that I'm receiving from Toth, because I want to pass on the Heka Codes to as many as you that are already working with your energies out there as well. Lindsay, I'm not quite sure whether she's still here or whether she's gone. But anyway, I was talking to Lindsay. She's a great human design teacher, and she does it in her own way. And we were talking about how the Heka Codes can sit at the bottom of every single person's work, right? So it's not just for me, it's for everybody. So I really want to share that with everybody because the alchemical formula fits in with everything. So imagine having your own potent work, layering it with that, and then away we go, you know? Okay. So, okay, great. Group offer. Okay, so we're on. It's been, God, 2-3 years since I've done a course. So I've only decided on that last couple of days. So I'll be putting that on YouTube and we will get this course together and it will take us right through to Christmas. And then you can keep practicing with it in the holiday times, you know? Told you this was going to be a big classroom today, didn't I? Hey? But I get so amped when I sit with you guys. It's the collective energy and more will come, you know? So thank you so much for sharing your energies and opening up to me and coming in with this very, very powerful session with Osiris. Feel free to like comment and all that kind of thing back and forth. I mean, obviously next month it will be with Toth. We'll be having his Toth classroom. There's going to be a lot going on in November. So we will see all of you soon. So much love to you guys. You're so welcome, everybody. So welcome. Mwah. I will see you on the next video, as I say. Peace. Bye-bye, my darlings. See you later.